Here we go. Tuesday the 3rd, day 3 here for the Tuesday classes, and this is the second week. Network Essentials, we finished up network fundamentals. We finished up the first lab, worked at submitting that. The students took the quiz. On Thursday, we get started with networks and daily lives. That'll be chapter 2 in the curriculum. So the students, all of you, should have finished the first chapter and have taken the quiz. And we'll talk about a chapter test probably next week. Okay, Metalcraft internship, let me know. Mason City's looking for volunteers to help in the IT department, and we're looking for somebody to help with us. Tech Club tomorrow, I'll send out an email later on today. We'll talk about cybersecurity and tech den. Okay, so we looked at PCs. The students, the PC they're connected to. So we talked about processor, they have memory, random access memory. We said a little bit about ROM. We have storage, that could be hard drive or a solid state drive. And then we have this electronic bus that we send traffic through. We talked about some slots, network interface card to connect to a network. And in our rooms we have those, they're mostly blue wire that connects to the switch. It goes through a little bit of stuff here before it gets there, but it connects to the switch. Okay? Oh, by the way, also in those slots there's a Wi-Fi card. So we can connect a couple antennas, or connect an antenna to that. And you could also connect to a network over Wi-Fi. That make sense? Okay. Now, PC here, this would be an end device. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. And then the bits would travel through, let's say for an example, with bits, it can travel through here, through our devices, out the firewall, and into the internet. And then the traffic. A firewall, if you have the traffic go out, then the firewall is going to let similar traffic back in. If we have some different traffic try to get in externally, the firewall would block it. Okay? Now, most firewalls will not allow a ping and trace route out. And that could be the firewall in your PC or a firewall in your network. We're going to work on that a little bit more on Thursday. A couple other terms we talked about then, like here, going to the internet. If you go to Facebook, Facebook has a web server. You can get information off that. And then that information can come back to your PC. Have some type of input-output on your PC. Here we have a web server, so we have a server. Here we have a client. So that's a client-server environment. There's also peer-to-peer environment in which we actually set that up the other day. We had a switch, and the students connected PCs on that switch, and they were able to develop a peer-to-peer network. Here we have probably better control with web server and easier to scale. Peer-to-peer are easy to set up. Alright. One more slide. Over here we talked about bandwidth. Okay, so we have bandwidth. Our devices have a certain bandwidth. Then we have throughput. With our devices we have latency. We have some type of delay as bits move through a network. So even though we got 100 million bits per second, our throughput will be less than that because of latency. The other day we talked about we have access to a network, wireless, fiber. Those would all be some type of media to access the network. Then we have end devices connecting into the network, and what are we sending? We're sending data through the network. And we talked about what kind of devices connect to a switch or an access point, or we could actually also connect to your device connect to a cell tower. You can read that, cell tower. Those funny items on top, signal go to and from those. There's a couple other ways too that we'll talk about. Finish up today. The students, the lab, the peer-to-peer lab, they finished that. They captured their pings, the configurations, did an IP config all, did an ARP-A. Then they took that information and put it in a document. And then they document the document. Answer the questions in the Cisco lab, in the document. And then in the comment box, they can answer the questions about the lab. And they submitted all that in Canvas. Now I'll take a look at it, and we'll talk a little bit about how that looks and how to do that. And we'll do the other lab from Chapter 1 on Thursday, and possibly get started with some of the lab work from Chapter 2. So, what should you be doing? So, students need to, if you haven't, you need to finish, whoops, let me see. You need to finish up Chapter 1, how networks work, and you need to start Chapter 2, how we use networks, daily use. Okay, and then every chapter we learn some new terms. And so you need to make sure you look back in the curriculum. You have some places where you can practice the terms and make sure you're up to speed on those. That's it.